So what happened was Andrew Neil, who is a journalist there in the United Kingdom, he said, quote, "I had dinner tonight with somebody who thinks he's a great market guru. Said it's mad Dow passed 30,000 in current circumstances. I said no. Equity prices reflect future, not past. 2021 will be a great rebound. I'm optimistic. UK stocks especially underpriced." So, he's like, right, there's going to be great economic activity. This is a great time to invest. You're going to go long the markets. So Danny Blanchflower honestly responded to him as such. Actually, stocks are mostly driven by global QE, which really has one major purpose, which is to raise asset prices. So again, this is something that we've covered on Keiser Report a few years ago when he jumped into a conversation I was having with that crazy woman, Frances Coppola, and she was denying that quantitative easing had anything to do with house prices increasing. And Danny Blanchflower jumped in on my behalf and said, well, as somebody who voted for quantitative easing, I could tell you that that's what our intention was, to cause house prices to rise. So here he's coming in again to people who are saying, wow, stock markets are rising because of all this economic activity. It's like the economy is going to boom. Things are great. And he's like, well, actually, it's the money printing that's causing this. This is what we wanted.
Right. Well, 2 points. So first of all, as we covered a couple of weeks ago, when you take out the stock buybacks that are funded by money printing, the Dow Jones would be at 15,000, not 30,000. So that's a 50% difference, number one. Number two, less than 10% of U.S. households own stocks. So all that money printing goes into the pockets of the few people that own stocks. So that's a problem. That's a political problem. And you have a lot of unrest in America and around the world for that very reason, not the Cantillon effect. And number three, there's no connection between the economy and the stock market. So when Andrew Neil says, well, we anticipate an economy doing such and such next year, that may or may not be true, but it has nothing to do with the stock market. There's no connection between the two. As I just pointed out, without the money pumping and printing, stocks would be down to 15,000, and earnings also for these big corporations would also be negative instead of being flat to slightly positive as a result of buying back their own stock. So it's a completely manufactured hallucination, if you will, driven by fiat money. And you say we're in the dark ages of fiat money. Okay, if that's true, and of course it is true, then this is an incredible bubble. The bond market is in a 300-year bubble. I saw something about the UK. Their economy is having the worst quarter it's had in 300 years. They're the negative 11.5% print. That's the worst quarter in 300 years. Well, what's also been going on incredibly for 300 years, interest rates have never been as low as they are in the UK today in 300 years, right? So this is a multi-centennial phenomenon that we're experiencing. The bond market, the UK bond market, and the global bond market, and the same thing in the US. Bond market in the US is at a 240-year bubble high. So these bonds are in multi-hundred-year highs. Interest rates are in multi-hundred-year lows. The economies like the UK are printing 300-year lows in terms of their collapse, and that collapse is driven by the money printing, which is destroying the tenets of free market capitalism and replacing it with neo-feudalism, as we've been talking about. So those are the trends to keep in mind. Into this wasteland of stock buybacks, money printing, and economic collapse and fiat money collapse enters the heroic Bitcoin to clean up this mess.